Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm going to be doing exactly what it says in the thumbnail. I'm going to be going over some of the stuff I got, as well as thanking one of my great sponsors, FCKLightbars. I've got some stuff from them today. They did not send this to me for free. I am sponsored by them, and I'm very thankful for the service they provide for my truck and how great of a company they've been to work with. So I got some of their stuff to go over, and if you stick around, I have a new intake for the truck, and I have some new equipment from Sky High Car Audio. Big thanks to John Rave out there. So let's just get into it. Okay, so as you can see right here, I've got a couple pods and I've got the headlights. So I'll explain the story behind these headlights. So these are glass housing, if I hit them against each other. These are glass housing headlights for the truck. For the last little bit, have been trying to do something big with these, and it just didn't end up working out, which I'll kind of explain here. Got all the other stuff I'm going to go over, and I have a kind of little test station to show you guys these headlights, or these pods that I got from FCK. So basically what happened is I picked up these headlights, and I was going to send them out to this guy to do custom headlight builds. Now, I want to give this guy some business, but I don't want to say anything right now about who it was, just because of the fact that it didn't get done, and it wasn't his fault, it wasn't my fault. These headlights are just too shallow to do what we wanted to do with them, and that has nothing to do with his ability. It has nothing to do with anything besides the fact that we both thought it could be done. We got the headlights. He was working on them for months, trying to fit anything in there, all the way up to mini projectors, and could not figure out how to fit anything in here that he felt comfortable with doing. So once I do a different build with a different headlight, I'll show off his, because I think I'm going to get some done for my new Subaru. And then I will show off his talent and artwork. I don't want to bring any negative impact on his name, but basically that's the idea. I got these. I got a bunch of these different pods that I purchased. These were not sent to me. I did get them using the deal though, which is 15% off of all FCK products, which you can also use if you go down the description and use XSP Green Monster on their site, or it's Green Monster, I can't remember, but it's in my description. If you use that code on their site, it's 15% off all their products. So I have these high output pods from FCK. Really nice, kind of rounded over pod. I really like the look of this. It's a very rugged look. And I'll show you guys what these look like. And then I also got a pair of their RGB series with 6 LEDs in there. So I'm going to go over these really briefly. Both just the quality that I expect coming from any products. So I wasn't disappointed with the quality and anything, and everything worked out really well. Here's the controller. I'm not going in depth with any of this stuff. I just want to show it off because this is really cool equipment, and FCK is really doing a good job of this, and they're expanding a lot. So here is the high output light. So these are considered their high output series. These are their spot beam, I believe. I don't think I got flood, but I might have. So if it looks a little flooded, then that's why. So there we go. Whoops. So there you go. You can see it. So it's a very nice, I'll shine it behind me. You can see it on me. It's a very nice bright light. I believe it is spot, but it really does have a like serious output, and it'd be really good for anywhere on the truck. And I was planning on putting these in as my high beams, and I still might. Got some ideas with this. This isn't dead yet, but it's dead for going into these housings. I might go back to the stock housing, honestly, because these things look pretty sweet. Like, they're just classic. They're glass housing. I don't have to worry about them warping, and I might just kind of go back to these, because I think it might clean up the truck. I'm not a huge fan of the chrome, but it doesn't need it to project, so I'll have to see. So the next one, which is going to take me a little bit set up, so it's probably going to be a quick break here, and I'll have it set up, and then I'll show you guys these RGBs. Okay, so here's the RGB headlights, or pods. Much more square than those ones, a little bit less rounded, so they do have a little bit more of that classic pod look, where these have like a nice sleek front housing with the screws in the back, which I do like this look. I think it's a really nice look. But these do have the RGB. Again, they were just way too deep to fit in my headlights. But I'm really excited to put these somewhere, figure out if maybe I'm going to go with different housings for my headlights or whatever, but FCK really has a good system here because they have these waterproof screw and screw out connectors, which I really like, and I'll do an in-depth thing on these when I get them installed somewhere. But let's take a look at these to begin with. So I'll turn them on here. So there we go. We have both on, so you can see both are on there, and I can change the color of, there we go. So you can see the headlight there, and that's actually doing kind of like a chase on the coloration of them, which I do like. And then let's see if I can get, okay, so there is just the outer rings, and they're incredibly bright, and it's doing kind of like a nice chase right now, which I really like. And then I can also do standard colors on here. I can get into chase modes. There's just like a crazy mode. There's a single color chase. And it's going the other direction. There's a ton of modes with this. I'm really impressed with the modes of this. So then I can just go right here. I can shut those off. I can turn just these on. I can have those flash. So I can have just the headlights on or off, and I can have just the RGBs on, then just a whole bunch of different modes. You can see everything. Let me shut these off so you can actually see. Whoops. Every single mode that you can do on there. So great product. I'm really impressed with this little remote. I'm not impressed by a lot of remotes because I really feel like they limit it, but that mode option, how you can turn on and off them individually, I really like with this one. So I'm going to move on to the two big boxes. We're going to unbox some new stuff I got for the truck so we can see that. And of course, all this testing was done on my Excess Power Battery, another great sponsor of my truck. Thank you to Excess Power Batteries for everything that they've done for me. So let's get into unboxing these. Alright, first box. Really excited to get this because I had a really cheap air intake on my truck, so it kind of gives you a hint as to what this is. So air intakes are a thing that I might do a whole video on. If you guys would like to see a whole video on my explanation of air intakes and then doing an engineering analysis of an air intake to show you how they actually make a difference depending on if they're inside the truck like a lot of them do, where the filter is still inside the truck, or if that doesn't actually make a difference. So there's a lot of videos you can go out there and look up how much difference the air intake temperature makes on horsepower. Obviously, it's why you get intercooler stuff. So I went with this, and I paid for all of this. I got this off of Jegs, which I want to say, between Jegs, Summit Racing, and Car ID, I can usually find everything I need for my truck. So this is the VOLANT Performance air intake for my truck. And I mean, that actually looks really nice. So this is plastic. It's a high density plastic. This isn't metal or anything, which, you know, it'd be nice if it was metal, but this seems like the best product on the market right now for these style trucks. So we've got a couple connector pieces. I believe this is where my mass airflow sensor attaches. This goes straight in. Got all the boots connect everything. Looks like some extra lines to connect certain things, and some extra gaskets as well in here, as well as mounting hardware, and a couple hose clamps. So awesome for that. And then the actual air box, and I'll kind of explain what I like about this so much. So this is going to be kind of hard to show, and I might just tear it open so you guys can actually see how nice this thing is. So this sits right like here with those tubes coming in on the left of my truck, and this is a plexiglass cover to show off their nice fancy blue, which is hard to see, but there's a blue intake. But the big thing about this from VOLANT Performance is that it uses my Suburban's factory cold air intake. It doesn't draw any air from the engine. It actually draws it through the fender and from behind the passenger light, like it was designed to from the factory. So it actually keeps cold air coming in instead of hot air from the engine bay. And yes, on a hot day when it's 100 degrees, I was still drawing in hot air, but the engine will always raise the engine bay temperature. So I'm really happy about getting this. It is one of the more expensive air intakes. It's not as expensive as K&N, I don't think, and K&N still isn't a true cold air intake. So super excited about this for the truck. This is going to be really awesome to have in there. So yeah, you'll be seeing an install video on this, but again, VOLANT Performance. They're one of the only companies I've actually seen that still make true cold air intakes. And this is all, and this is like a good, you can see in there, it's at least probably 1/4 of an inch thick. So it's gonna last. Plastic is nice, it's easy to clean, doesn't get as dirty as metal in an engine bay. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that it actually gets rid of the silencer on my intake, so this bolts directly to a Chevy GMC 1500 Suburban's intake. Oh, I can't think of it. Throttle body. Bolts right to my throttle body. So really excited about that. Really nice, smooth on the inside. It's hard to see, but it is all smooth. They might have used some sort of curing process with acetone to get that smoothness on the inside, but really like this. Let's move on to the Sky High Car Audio stuff. So next big thing, super excited about this. So as I'm sure you can see, this is stuff from Sky High Car Audio, which should be most of the things I need to actually get my truck back up and playing. So let's get into this. I don't know how long this video is. Might end up cutting a lot of stuff I said out, but I'll get that figured out. So this is basically just a whole bunch of stuff to finish what I need to finish on the truck. Man, this is packed in here too. I have to say, every time I get these boxes and they're kind of like loose like this, I always think that maybe something's gone wrong inside, but they always package the stuff from Sky High well. Yes, and foam, like actual foam packing peanuts, so they don't get everywhere and they're not super staticky, which I appreciate. All right, first one here, we've got I believe I ordered 25 feet, but I might be incorrect. Let me check. I ordered 50. 50 feet of green and black OFC 12 gauge speaker cable. This is what I use for my tweeters. I wanted to get copper OFC so that it could go all the way to the back since I'm adding so much length and I didn't want to lose any clarity with it. And then I have blue and black, 50 feet of blue and black OFC wire for my mids. Then I have 1, 2, 3, so 30 copper lugs with green and blue heat shrink for my 1/0. That is all that came in this box. So there's one down. Now we get to the heavy one. And so the colors that I usually get for my trucks, I guess you could probably assume, given all the lugs I got, and it is 1/0. So, which is actually equivalent to welding 2/0. So they didn't have the white that I usually go with. I'm kind of liking the white and blue. I thought about changing like black and green to match the truck, but they only had one color available since I ordered, I think, on 4th of July. So I got 100 feet of blue 1/0 wire. Of course it's OFC, so I've got 100 extra feet of cable now. And this should be enough to do runs all the way from front to back and use my current runs to wire everything in the back. So super excited about this. Got 100 feet of 1/0 to rewire back of the truck. So this is just a wire. So this is gonna be everything I need to hopefully finish up the new build and to get the amps playing and at least get the battery rack wired up, get runs all the way front to back. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a like, thumbs up. Please give it a like, thumbs up. comment, and subscribe if you did. And we've got, as you can tell, a lot of big new things happening in the truck. So I'll be doing my best to get these videos out there. Have a good rest of your day.